as you explain that, I have this sense of that there is an awareness viewing the me who does and thinks and yet it feels like this one is aware that that one's there rather than that one.
So, sorry, I missed which one's which.
The awareness
Yeah.
of the one that's
Yeah.
that's doing and being.
Yeah.
It's like this is the one that is kind of knows that that one's there, but so it's not like the experience. I'm not having the experience of the awareness being aware of the. Yeah, it's it feels. Yeah, is there a difference or?
So when you say that one, the person in the world,
Yeah, the
just to
person
be
in the
clear,
world, yeah.
so we're talking about multiple personalities here. The person in the world is aware of awareness. How do you know that?
I guess it's partly the thinking has been clued in, and the thinking goes, oh yeah, that makes sense, okay. And then there's like back in the background, there's a noticing that I am, or that it's like it's huge, you know. But it's like this experience on, you know, in this body, in this mind is so strong that it's like this is there, and it's like, yeah, like I guess there's a separation.
Yeah, so it sounds a little bit like a subtle experience that you're having. But only you know the difference. I mean, it just, to me, the way you're describing it sounds a little bit like because in fact there isn't a person. You know, when we're talking about this person in the world and there's this, that's one way of talking about it, but in fact there isn't even a person. So the person who thinks that he knows about awareness is just a thought.
Mm.
And perhaps a thought commenting about an experience which perhaps isn't always constant.
The experience isn't always constant.
It's, yeah, not always
Oh,
constant.
right, yeah.
Because no experience can be constant. That's just not the nature of experience.
So a constant awareness of that there's thought happening and viewing it, just watching thought happening.
Yeah.
That's not, if that were constant, that wouldn't be an experience.
That is constant. That's the only thing that's constant. And that's not an experience, because that's aware of experience.
So if the thinking mind is viewing that now and then as an experience.
Then the thinking mind is imagining an object called awareness.
Oh, yeah.
Awareness can't be viewed because who would be viewing it? Awareness isn't an object, it's the subject.
Well, I'm sure that helps as I let it sink in.
It can get very tricky when the thinking tries to get clever,
Yeah.
you know. The thinking tries to do this. It tries to slot in all the concepts and fit them all together and create this nice little puzzle that can be imagined and visualized. And it's so clever that there can be sensations felt that go along with that imagination. There can be a sense of expansion that happens. And that's great, but it's not permanent. So anything that isn't permanent isn't reliable.
so it seems like it seems like there's three states, and there can't really be three states, I know, but there's the state of the thinking mind just doing its thing on automatic pilot, not even aware that I am awareness. And then there's the thinking mind making up a story about the awareness, that the awareness is there.
Yeah, but that's more of the same as the first one.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the spiritual path, there can be so many little tangents that we go off on, thinking that we've kind of got it. When we start to experience some state of bliss, some expansion, some, less thinking maybe, or no thinking, or, be able to sort of have a kind of sense of detachment from it all. But all of those states are temporary. Eventually, even if they last for a while, eventually all the stuff comes rushing back. There's no escape from the mess of life.
Meaning that we will be experiencing that mess as long as we're in this embodiment.
Well, I'm saying, I'm calling it mess now, but it's just being alive, it's just life. It's mess as opposed to, the thinking wants to clear it all up, clean it all up, make it all nice and pretty and perfect. And it can go even further than that. It can make, it wants to be pristine and clear and clarity and enlightenment, and it has all kinds of beautiful ideas about how it should be. But the truth is, or the reality is, that it's often uncomfortable, painful, frightening, and it's all absolutely meaningless.
And when I believe that, it's like I just I don't know for sure who believes that. The thinking mind,
well,
or...
don't believe it then. Because if you believe it, it becomes another belief that the thinking mind is playing with. So don't believe it.
Yeah. Good.
What we're talking about is facing reality, not another belief.
Yeah.
It's stripping away of beliefs.
Yeah.
And seeing what's left. And it's not very much.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Sounds good, but you're still thinking about it. So right now, just sitting here, looking, right, without even thinking about looking, just looking. Without it needing to be in a certain way or mean anything. Nothing needs to happen now. No effort needed right now. Just noticing what's going on, that's all. Nothing more, and that noticing doesn't require any effort. And then the thinking comes in to make it mean something. Oh yeah, I understand it now. It's this, and this. You don't understand it. You don't know what the hell is going on. Let's be honest.
And then when I say yes, I like that idea. That's
It's so sweet, isn't it? It just goes on and on.
Then I can just observe that.
Yeah, it's interesting just to see the nature of the thinking. To notice how it's always going to come and put a label on something. You see a beautiful tree, instead of just seeing the tree and just not even knowing that it's a tree, you just, the thinking mind comes in and says, oh, beautiful. Thank you very much. Oh, now we know it's beautiful. Didn't know before. It's a tree, thank you. Yes, very nice. And not to say that the thinking shouldn't do that, but when you notice that it's doing that, you don't take it so seriously. And that's the point. So we're not talking about stopping thinking. Not at all, because when we try to stop our thinking, we just get into more of a mess. Then it's one thought trying to stop the other thoughts. So it's just really about seeing the nature of the thinking. It loves to put labels on things. This is a man, this is a woman, this is a room, this is the floor, the chair. It's doing it all the time.
So this feels like I'm trying to develop another label when I ask you this question. Is it possible that the thinking mind is observing the thinking, or if you're observing the thinking, then it's you observing the thinking and not the thinking observing the thinking?
So the thinking can be useful to a point because in fact it's trying to really help with this whole exploration. It's also trying to help. So it can come up with the question, like the question you've just asked, or even the question of who am I is coming from the thinking. But really, kind of getting the answer is not in the thinking. And that can be frustrating for the thinking, because the thinking comes up with a question and imagines that there should be the perfect answer. But every question has no answer, really. Just another question and another question. And the reason why this is so simple is because there are no answers. It's just how it is. This is just how it is. Whether you like it or not, whether you think it should be like this or not, it just is how it is.
Thanks.
Thank you.